They're chipping away at Kamala Harris because she likes to say that word unburdened herself a lot. In focus now, Texas Congressman Chip Roy. He sits on the House Rules, Budget, and Judiciary Committees. Great to have you in focus. Let's start with the focus on the children here. It has always been that way, from the drug cartels to the people who illegally cross into our country. We know about the sex trafficking, and now they're taking American children. What do you know about this that you can tell the American public?
Well, Harris, great to be on. Look, this is one of those things people say we're trying to exploit for political reasons. The fact is we have a choice to make as a country. Are we going to live in a safe country, or are we going to allow our country to become basically a third world dangerous place? And so what we're seeing right now, just 30 miles from right here, I'm in the Capitol building, out in Manassas, you have an individual who pulled a teenage girl into a car posing as a law enforcement officer, and then he abducted her, right? This is happening in real time across this country. This man was from Peru. He was released in December by this administration into the United States purposefully. This isn't about just open borders. That's almost a misnomer now. This administration is purposely flying people into the United States or taking people from the border and releasing them into the United States, knowing full well that they are dangerous individuals. I was in Aurora, Colorado on Thursday and Friday. I met with the woman who put the video cameras on her door. They weren't apartment videos. This was a woman who needed to secure her own home in the apartment. And she put videos up. And she went out and she called the police. They testified on the ground that they didn't have any manager in the apartment complex. You got radical Democrats, including the governor of Colorado and my colleague Jason Crow, who want to deny that they in fact took over the apartment complex. You had 4 individuals who were arrested. They were released into Texas, into the United States. You had a Peruvian who was released, caught in Buffalo in July, is accused of 23 murders in Peru, is now finally in ICE custody. Tomorrow in the Judiciary Committee, we're going to have Jocelyn Nungare's mom testifying. We're going to have the mom of Kayla Hamilton, who is another woman who was killed in the same county as Rachel Marin. I think we're going to have Rachel Marin's mom. We're going to try to highlight to the American people that they are in danger. And a final point. I released a report last week detailing all of the horrors at the hands of radical progressive Democrats, including Kamala Harris, including 320,000 children that the administration, according to the Inspector General of the Department of Homeland Security, can't even tell us where they are. So this is neither pro-migrant nor pro-American. And you and I both know this, Harris.
Well, and we also know this. I mean, Secretary of Homeland Mayorkas has been before committees on the Hill before, previously, and it was 85,000 then. Yeah. And what you're saying is that under this administration, they've tripled that number, nearly tripled that number. I mean, why is it even a discussion about whether or not it's happening? Clearly it's happening. He admitted it. He just couldn't say why, and he couldn't say how he was going to solve it, Mayorkas.
Well, this is a secretary who lied to Congress, lied to the American people, knew that his own agents didn't whip the Haitian migrants that he accused them of whipping. And by the way, Kamala Harris also extended that lie. It's purposeful because they know that they're guilty. They're guilty of releasing dangerous people into the United States, and they're doing it because they believe it is politically beneficial for them. That's why they violently oppose the SAVE Act that I introduced, that we passed in July with unanimous Republican support. 5 Democrats had to vote for it. Democrats don't want to talk about it. They dismiss it as unnecessary, which is a lie. It is necessary. Federal law currently doesn't allow states to check citizenship when they register them to vote. My bill would fix that and require that we check citizenship, an 80+% issue. They don't want to do that. Why is that? Because they know they're guilty of using these individuals, endangering Americans and endangering migrants for their crass political purposes. They think it's beneficial to them because it's all about power. That's all about power.
Well, look, we've seen even some political candidates run on the issue of having people who are not legal yet in this country vote in our elections. But the mayor of New York City, right here where Fox News headquarters sits, I mean, when Mayor Adams was running as a candidate, that was one of the things that he was talking about on his platform. I think he probably feels differently now that it's been like $1 billion to pay for all of the people, the border crossers who are on our streets here.
Well, and the amount of expense for New Yorkers, and the Coloradans I was talking to in Aurora, I mean, they had $42 million of expense alone just for hospitals that they have to do for illegal immigrants alone, the illegal aliens. $72 million for all the other stuff. You have New York saying they had $1 billion for the entire city for what they're having to deal with. Texas, $13 billion. And when it comes to elections, it does matter. Al Franken won his state by 300 and something votes. The Georgia election for president was less than 10,000. We have an obligation to secure our border, but also make sure that only American citizens vote. Republicans are standing up for that. Democrats are standing up for open borders and the fact that they don't want to admit that only American citizens should vote.
Yeah, they want to put people in front of American citizens, and women have only had a little more than 100 years to vote in this country. American citizen women. Wow. Make it make sense. Congressman Chip Roy, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Harris. God bless you.
You too.